Every parenting book on the shelf right now was written without ever asking one group of parents who've been quietly outperforming the data for decades. Look at the research on child confidence, and something strange shows up. Children raised with a specific cluster of parenting habits passed down for generations in African American households, consistently score higher on self-esteem, resilience, and identity strength than children raised without them. Not slightly higher, significantly higher. And almost none of it made it into the parenting bestsellers. No gentle parenting book mentions it. No baby app tracks it. No influencer with a pastel nursery is teaching it. But developmental psychologists have a name for it: racial socialization, paired with communal caregiving, and together they form 10 distinct techniques that build something most modern parenting completely misses. Not just a well-behaved child, a child who knows exactly who they are before the world ever tries to tell them otherwise. Today, I'm giving you all 10. Some of them you may already be doing, without realizing you're building your child's entire sense of self every time you do. Others will change how you see every interaction you have with your child starting today. Because confidence isn't taught with a flashcard. It's built, technique by technique, generation by generation. And here's exactly how. Before we get into the first technique, I need 30 seconds of your time. Right now, 90% of the people watching this video are not subscribed. If you're one of them, that's okay, you didn't know. But here's the thing, this channel only exists because parents like you decide it's worth sticking around for. That subscribe button costs you nothing. No app, no purchase, no sign-up fee, just one tap. So before we go any further, hit subscribe, drop a comment, and tell me which technique on this list you're most curious about. It genuinely helps this channel keep making free, research-backed videos like this one. Okay, let's get into technique 1. Picture a father kneeling down after his son comes home upset. Someone made a comment about his hair. Instead of brushing it off, the father says, "Tell me what happened." Then he just listens. Researchers call this racial socialization, talking openly with kids about identity and how to handle bias before the world forces the conversation on them. Psychologist Dr. Howard Stevenson at the University of Pennsylvania has studied this pattern in Black families for years. His research shows something clear. Kids whose parents talk with them directly about identity and prepare them for bias handle tough social moments with more confidence and less anxiety than kids who never get that preparation. This isn't about scaring a child, it's the opposite. It's giving them a map before they walk into unfamiliar territory. And a child with a map feels confident. A child without one feels lost. That's technique 1. 9 more are coming, each one just as practical and just as backed by research. Picture a toddler surrounded by relatives, an aunt, cousins, a grandmother, all taking turns holding her, feeding her, praising her. Her mother isn't doing this alone. She never has to. This is technique 2, communal caregiving. In many African American families, raising a child has never been just one parent's job. It's shared across aunts, uncles, grandparents, and church family. Researchers call this the extended family support model. Here's why it builds confidence. A child raised inside a wide circle of caring adults gets multiple people telling her she's smart, multiple people telling her she's loved. If one relationship feels hard, she still has others holding her up. That's technique 2. 8 more to go. Picture a Sunday morning. A young boy sits in a church pew between his grandmother and his mother, listening to a choir, watching adults around him stand up, sing loudly, and be fully themselves without a hint of self-consciousness. Nobody tells him to be quiet or small. He is watching confidence in motion, and no one even has to explain it to him. This is technique 3, strong community and spiritual grounding. Researchers studying resilience in African American families have consistently found that religious and communal involvement, whether through church, mosque, or other cultural gathering spaces, is linked to lower rates of anxiety and higher self-esteem in Black children. It's not really about any one specific belief system, it's about what these spaces provide: a sense of belonging bigger than the four walls of home, a room full of adults who affirm the child simply by including them, and a rhythm of gathering that says, "You belong here," every single week. A child who feels rooted in something larger than themselves, a family, a faith community, a cultural tradition, tends to carry that groundedness into everything else: school, friendships, challenges. Confidence isn't just built one-on-one. Sometimes it's built in a room full of people all singing the same song. That's technique 3, 7 more ahead. Picture a mother teaching her daughter to do her own hair in the mirror, naming each style as she braids. This one's for strength. This one's for beauty. The daughter watches herself change, piece by piece, and starts to see herself as something worth caring for. This is technique 4, cultural pride through everyday rituals. Researchers studying Black identity development have found that everyday practices, hair care, music, language, food traditions, do more than preserve culture. They build a child's sense of, "This is who I am, and it's good." Studies link strong cultural identity in Black children to higher self-esteem and better resilience against negative stereotypes. It doesn't require a big lesson. It's built in small, repeated moments: the same braid, the same song, the same recipe, done together again and again. That's technique 4. 6 more to go. Picture a 5-year-old who just struck out at t-ball. He's near tears. His father doesn't say, "It's okay," and move on. He says, "You swung hard. That's how you get better. Try again." Then he stays and watches him try again. This is technique 5, direct, honest encouragement instead of empty praise. Researchers who study parenting styles across cultures have found that vague praise, "Good job, you're so smart," doesn't build real confidence. It can actually make kids more afraid to fail. What does build confidence is specific, honest feedback tied to effort. Studies on African American parenting have often found a stronger emphasis on this kind of direct, respectful honesty, praising effort and truth-telling over automatic compliments. A child told, "You worked hard and that's why you improved," learns something a child told, "You're perfect," never does: that growth is in their control. That's a much sturdier kind of confidence because it doesn't depend on always winning. That's technique 5, halfway there, 5 more to go. Picture a mother sitting her son down at the kitchen table, not to punish him, but to talk through a mistake he made at school. What happened? What could you do differently next time? No yelling, no lecture, just a real conversation, parent to child, treating him like someone capable of understanding. This is technique 6, respect for the child's voice within firm structure. Researchers studying African American parenting styles have often described this as a blend some call no-nonsense parenting: clear rules and high expectations, combined with warmth and genuine respect for the child's perspective. It's not permissive and it's not harsh either. It sits in between, firm boundaries but real conversation. Studies have found that children raised with this mix, high structure paired with high warmth, tend to develop stronger self-regulation and more confidence in decision-making than children raised with either strict control alone or with no structure at all. They know the rules, but they also know their voice matters inside those rules. That's technique 6, 4 more to go. Picture a young girl asking her grandmother why people were marching on the news. Instead of changing the subject, her grandmother sits down and tells her about her own grandmother, about struggles she lived through, about people who came before her who never gave up. The girl listens, wide-eyed, learning that her family has a story and she's part of it. This is Technique 7, passing down family and historical stories. Researchers who study identity development call this intergenerational storytelling, and it shows up as a strong, consistent thread in many African American families. Studies suggest that children who grow up hearing stories about their family's history and resilience tend to develop what psychologists call a stronger sense of continuity, a feeling of being part of something that started before them and will continue after them. That sense of continuity does something powerful for confidence. A child who knows their family has faced hard things and made it through carries an unspoken belief: so can I. Struggles don't feel as frightening when a child has proof, real stories, real people, that their family has survived worse. That's Technique 7. 3 more to go. Picture two brothers, ages 6 and 9, get into an argument over a toy. Instead of a parent immediately stepping in to fix it, they're given a few minutes to work it out themselves, with a parent nearby watching, ready to step in only if it truly escalates. This is Technique 8, fostering independence within a supported environment. Researchers studying African American families have found a pattern sometimes called responsible independence. Children are given real responsibilities early, helping with siblings, chores, small decisions, while still being closely supported by a wide network of caring adults. It's not about pushing a child to grow up too fast. It's about trusting them with real trust, while making sure they're never truly on their own. Psychologists have found that children given age-appropriate independence paired with a strong safety net of adult support tend to develop stronger problem-solving confidence than children who are either overly protected or left without enough guidance. They learn early, I can handle things, and if I truly can't, someone's right here. That's Technique 8. 2 more to go. Picture a mother pointing at the TV during a movie showing her son a black scientist, a black astronaut, a black doctor, and saying simply, "That could be you." No big speech, just a quiet moment repeated often of showing him what's possible. This is Technique 9, intentional exposure to representation. Researchers studying childhood identity development have found that seeing people who look like you succeed in a wide range of roles, doctors, scientists, leaders, artists, has a measurable effect on a child's sense of what's possible for their own future. Many African American parents intentionally seek this out through books, media, and real-life mentors, precisely because mainstream media often doesn't provide it on its own. Studies link this kind of exposure representation to higher aspirations and stronger academic confidence in Black children. It answers a question every child asks without ever saying it out loud. Is someone like me allowed to do this? When the answer is clearly yes, shown again and again, confidence follows naturally. That's Technique 9. 1 more, and it might be the most important of all. Picture a father at his daughter's school pickup line. Another parent nearby makes a comment, subtle, dismissive, about the neighborhood they're from. The father doesn't react in anger. He simply turns to his daughter afterwards and says, calmly, "You are not what they said. You know who you are." Then they go get ice cream like nothing happened. This is Technique 10, and it ties every other technique together, modeling calm self-assurance in the face of bias. Researchers studying resilience in Black families have found that children learn less from what parents say about confidence and more from what they watch their parents do when confidence is tested. A parent who stays grounded, who doesn't shrink, who responds to unfairness with calm clarity instead of shame or rage, teaches a child something no lecture ever could, that your worth was never up for debate in the first place. This is really the technique underneath all the others. The talks about identity, the extended family, the community, the honest praise, the stories, the independence, the representation, they all build towards this single moment, a child watching a parent hold their own dignity steady no matter what the world throws at them. And in that moment, the child learns to hold theirs steady too. 10 techniques. One thread running through all of them. Confidence isn't something you hand a child once. It's something you build together, conversation by conversation, story by story, ordinary day by day. If this gave you something to carry into how you parent today, consider subscribing. We share research-backed insights like this every week, the everyday moments that shape who our children become. A quick like helps more parents find this too. Until next time, keep building. Your child is watching and learning more than you know.